Fire.
War has consistently prompted the greatest jumps forward in innovation, with every country continually endeavoring to have the most developed and skilled weapons to secure their inclinations at home and abroad. How about we examine a portion of these crazy cutting-edge weapons? Number 1. Phaser. Created by the U.S. Branch of Defense, the Personal Halting and Simulation Response Rifle, Phaser, is a non-deadly weapon intended to perplex and paralyze foes instead of execute them. A light-based weapon, the Phaser has been intended for use by the two troopers and U.S. law authorization authorities, police. The firearm briefly blinds foes with centered laser radiance. The laser lights, which work at rotating frequencies, serve to bewilder individuals who see them, delivering them incapable to stand, not to mention battle. Fortunately, the laser light utilized in this weapon doesn't perpetuate any lasting harm to individuals' vision. Number 2. XM-25 Grenade Launcher. The XM-25 projectile launcher is furnished with a laser rangefinder and onboard PC. It packs a magazine of 4 25mm shots and projects them to explode as they pass by their objectives. That component will permit officers to strike adversaries who are seeking shelter. By 2012, the Army desired to arm each infantry crew and Special Forces unit with one of the serious weapons. In August, a fortunate warrior had the chance to pull the trigger and shoot a HEAB, or high explosive airburst, round at the Aberdeen testing ground in Maryland. Those shots pack a serious punch. They are purportedly 300% more viable than typical ammunition and will actually want to strike focuses similarly as 700 meters, which is likewise 2,300 feet away. From the start, the XM-25 looks like something out of a sci-fi film. It includes a variety of sights, sensors, and lasers housed in a target acquisition fire control unit on top, a curiously large magazine behind the trigger component, and a short, inauspicious barrel wrapped by a backlash hosing sleeve. Number 3. Mayhem. The Magneto Hydrodynamic Explosive Munition. Mayhem is a weapon being created by DARPA of the United States Department of Defense that would use liquid metal to enter adversary protection. The liquid metal would be moved by electromagnetic fields from blasts. The ammo would be conveyed to an objective as a warhead, bundled into a rocket, shot, or other stage. It would infiltrate the protective layer of an adversary vehicle, at that point detonate when it gets inside, annihilating the vehicle from the back to the front. DARPA predicts the weapon will have more prominent productivity, control, and exactness than customary violent-framed penetrators. This shot weapons framework likewise utilizes liquid metal to infiltrate foe-shielded vehicles, expanding lethality and adequacy on the front line. Number 4. Taser Shockwave. The Taser Shockwave is a completely measured framework that successfully packs 6 Taser X26 immobilizers together to cover a 20-degree circular segment with 25-foot cartridges. Each of the 6 cartridges can be terminated at the same time through the control box to convey a 5-second taser neuromuscular incapacitation, NMI, impact. That is what incidentally supersedes the order and control frameworks of the body to send targets shivering to the ground. Intended to immediately cripple different workforces in savage group and mob circumstances, the particularity of the framework permits numerous shockwave units to be stacked together vertically to take into account various salvos over a decreased region, or evenly to cover a bigger zone. Region inclusion can likewise be expanded by daisy fastening the units together. At the point when different units are sent together, a Smart Systems Administrator framework enables each shockwave unit to know where its position exists in a variety of numerous frameworks. To limit the danger to the client, the Taser Shockwave framework can be initiated with a press of the catch on the control box, which can be situated at a protected deadlock distance of up to 100 meters. One control box can handle up to 12 shockwave units and is additionally answerable for keeping the lithium battery packs contained in each shockwave unit charged in a steady condition of availability. Number 5. Mars. Why send men to do a task when a robot can do it comparably well? While the vast majority of us live in dread of being supplanted by robots, officers on the front line are most likely thankful to see this following beast rock up close by them. The Modular Advanced Arm Robotic System, MARS, is an individual from the Talon family, which will be the replacement to the furnished Swords robot. It has an alternate, bigger case than the Swords robot, so shares little genuinely, for all intents and purposes, with the Swords and Talon. Mars keeps soldiers at a protected separation from adversary fire while viably executing security missions like ambushes, prisoner salvage, constrained passage, booby-caught zones, prisoner riots, site security, and IED. Far-off arrangement of RSTA sensors into basic areas can be made as much as a few kilometers away, flagging dangers and empowering a prompt reaction whenever required. Furnished with different security highlights, Mars is operational just when accepting coded guidelines from its administrator. Mars offers numerous choices for the acceleration of power when needed by the rules of engagement, ROE, from non-deadly lasers, dazzlers, and sound impediments to not exactly deadly projectiles, to deadly discharge from an explosive launcher or automatic weapon. The Mars can move at 7 miles per hour and travel 800 to 1,000 meters from its regulator. It has 7 cameras for driving, situational mindfulness, and for the weapon that can work in daytime or warm modes. Mars is furnished with an M240B automatic rifle and 4 M203 explosive launcher tubes on a 360-degree pivoting turret. It conveys 450 rounds of 7.62 by 51mm NATO slugs and 4 40mm explosives in the 4 M203s. Projectiles can incorporate wipe, buckshot, and poisonous gas for less deadly purposes, while high touchy and airburst for deadly purposes. Number 6. Armatix IP-1. The Armatix IP-1 is a magazine-took-care-of self-loader gun which uses shrewd weapon innovation. The gun is loaded for the .22 long rifle rimfire cartridge. It is planned and made by the German organization Armatix. The IP-1 is prompted as a James Bond-style handgun that must be shot by an approved client. The Armatix IP-1 weighs 518 grams without a stacked magazine. The gun is loaded in .22 long rifle type and is taken care of by means of a 10-round separable box magazine with a powerful discharge scope of 75 yards. Different highlights of the handgun incorporate an electronic magazine detach, shading-coded security, coordinated hold well-being, and an interface for extra applications like a camera. The IP-1 handgun and the W1 Active RFID watch structure a keen framework wherein the 2 sections convey through radio recurrence ID, RFID. Altogether, for the handgun to work, the coordinating watch should be inside 10 crawls of it. The Armatix IP-1 can't be utilized without the coordination with IW1 Active RFID wristwatch. The wristwatch demonstrates, among other information, the charge level of the watch and the handgun and the quantity of shots discharged inside a given time span. Moreover, the watch can deactivate the gun through a period control highlight. The Target Response System, TRS, can be controlled to shoot just toward a perceived object or a loud target, and the handgun can't be shot on the off chance that it is pointed away from the objective. The target control module is a discretionary element. Number 7. Hybrid Insect Micro-Electromechanical System. Another weapons framework straight out of sci-fi, this time as bugs. In spite of the fact that it may appear as though somebody simply lashed a circuit board to the rear of an insect, it's really a fundamental portrayal of an innovation that has been dealt with for quite a long time. Miniature air vehicles, MAVs, and micro-electromechanical systems, MEMs, have been underway since the 1940s and are basically cyborg bugs and winged animals that have been subjected to do man's offering. An opportunity of data solicitation to DARPA uncovered some intriguing realities behind this military equipment that incorporated the embedding of advances into bugs at the hatching and pupae stage for the best possibility of practicality. Cameras and GPS beacons clearly give wonderful following abilities that nobody would expect, ideal for surveilling adversary bodies or even a government's own residents. Number 8. XM25. The XM25 Counter-Defilade Target Engagement (CDTE) framework empowers the little unit and individual soldier to draw in defilade focuses by giving a 25mm airburst capacity that can be utilized altogether in operational conditions. CDTE is an immediate discharge self-loader shoulder-shot man-compact weapon framework. An individual soldier utilizing fundamental rifle marksmanship abilities can successfully draw in uncovered or defilade focuses in only seconds. The framework permits the warfighter to rapidly and precisely draw in focus by delivering a change point dependent on range, ecological variables, and client inputs. The objective obtaining or fire control incorporates warm capacity with direct view optics. The CDTE framework lessens the dependence of little units on non-natural resources, mortars, gunnery, and air support, and the need to go aftershoot when time is basic. As well as air-bursting ammo, a group of ammo is being created to help different missions, which could incorporate protective layer puncturing and non-lethal situations. So what do you think about these amazing weapons? What do you think of the XM25? Do you think it's the best in the list, or is it another one? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.